Okay, so hello everyone. Let me present myself quickly so everyone knows me a little bit. I'm working as a data analyst on a project, and I also have a background of computer science and a master on data science. So data is a thing that I like a little bit, and I find that data visualization is super powerful. So I'm trying to improve on that, and the tool that I use at work on at home when I'm doing projects is Tableau because I believe it's publicly. So that's a big community, and I will show a little bit how you can start a project or how you can use it for yourself. So let me share my screen. Okay. So first of all, Tableau Public, it's a version that I will show you because you won't need any license. You can just sign in, create your own reports, and then publish it. The only limitation is that you need to use data that it's locally stored. So you will need to have a data set or your data on an Excel file or something like that. You cannot connect directly to MySQL, for example, or to Snowflake or any powerful tool. But just for learning purposes or for training yourself, it's more than enough. And what you will need to do is to go to Tableau Public and try to download it. That's kind of interesting. Also, one thing that I like about Tableau Public is that you have the community, as I told you, and you can go to visualization of the day that every day will show you how you can do something. It's not tutorials, it's just someone created a visualization and share it publicly. So you can take a look, and sometimes you can also download it and see how they created that views. So this will help you a lot on understand how you can manage to do something, or even download the data if they allow you. So that's something interesting for me. For example, if you want to create a dashboard for a call center or for any type of work, you can see how they did it and you can replicate it because sometimes it's not that it's something that trivial, but you can take information. If you don't find that revealing or you need to some more information, I recommend you Tableau Strategies. It's a book from it's a book for Aurelie. It's super useful, and I use it as a reference book. So if I want to do some graphic and I don't find it in YouTube, I will go to this book to find it. If not, people of reference, I recommend these brothers, the Fairlight twins. They have a lot of tutorials on how to do some calculation, how to do some things. That's quite good. And Andy Kriver as well, it's a reference on Tableau, and the community is super high, and you can see that he published a lot of different visualizations and how to do things. And even they have a Makeover Monday. It's like a challenge. Every Monday they will publish a data source, so you don't need to find any data, and then create a visualization parting of that data, and the people will share what they did, how they did it, and you can learn a lot and play with the community. So that's the things that I recommend to do it. Just with Tableau Public and Makeover Monday, you can go super ahead with learning how to do it. And then I will try to show you how to do some dashboard, a quick one with the sum. This will be the example that I will be doing today. So you will have the typical sales. You want to see the trend of this year, trend from last year, to try to have some KPIs. Also, if you have categories from the different products, you will want to see how they are producing between this year or the previous year. And also you will need to, for example, if you want to see the future or the past, you can change it. If you want only see for example, one product, you can do it and see how that product works. So to do so, you will need a data source. In this case, you don't need it. This is the sample data source that you will have on Tableau Public. Everyone will have the same data source. If you want to replicate this at home, you can do it. So I believe that this is kind of good to do so. And then there is the trick here. So first of all, to do so, you will need to data, new data source, and select the sample superstores if you want to do so. I will not do that because I already did. And what you will have is the data source that you will be able to fit in data with the orders, the people, the returns, and some data there. Important on Tableau. When you have the data, this is kind of drag and drop. There are two differences between dimensions and attributes. An attribute is it's a parameter that has a value, and this value is fixed. For example, in this case, I will have the customer name. This is a discrete attribute. You cannot assume different elements of this type, but for example, profit is a discrete one, so you can add or subtract or do some calculations. You can also change from discrete or to dimension if this is a numeric one, because you can have dates, and 2022 it's not a discrete one, should be a dimension. So for example, you can do that kind of conversions. And to create here, you will see like, okay, I have columns, I have rows, I can filter some data, and I have marks. As you can see, I have a lot of things here, but don't worry, I will first of all show you how I did it, and then we will try to replicate it. So more or less we can see how to proceed. So for sales, I'm looking at the months because I want to compare two different years. So I will say, okay, I want to check the different months. And on rows, what I want to compare. In this case, is sales. So I will need to say, okay, I have on columns, I want to see the years or the months, and on rows, I want to see different sales for every month. But what happened here? To do a comparison, if you only use, for example, a month, and let me create a new sheet and do it everyone. So I will have like, okay, I want to see the months here. So I change it to months, and I want to see the sales. I have the sales for all the years. What we need to say now? Okay, I want to filter and only see 1 year, not all the years. So we can create a select year and filter there. How to create a new parameter? Drag and drop, create parameter. Parameter 4, for example, here to check. I will say that this is an integer. The space format for me was fine. Let's set a year and a list of years. So all the years I want to be from order date year, because order date is the days that we have. So we will select from all the values that we have here, select the different year. Because if I not do that, the user can write whatever they want, for example, 192, and won't find any data, and everything will be blank. So to avoid that, we can filter and make a list of only the years that we have available on the data set. This is useful because in the future, if you have new data with data from 2024, this list will be updated automatically because depends on the order date, and the order date is a parameter that comes from the data. So you need that kind of things. Also, I want to show the year, the current year, and we will be able to change it from ranks. Okay. So what else? We will need to make some calculations. This is the difference between Tableau and Excel, for example. In Excel, to do calculation is kind of difficult. On Tableau, it's not that hard. You can create a new parameter and a new calculation, sorry, and say, okay, can you see it as well? Last year sales. And what we will need to do is, okay, if the sum of sales, sum of sales, no, if this year, it's no, first year. If order date, if the year of order date is the same that last year, and select year, yeah. Then sales, and So we will have no, this is not last year, this is current year sales. So yeah, go ahead, please, Enrique.
So this is SQL, isn't it? So you apply calculations with SQL, or is a special Tableau language?
It's a special Tableau, yeah.
Okay.
But it's so similar to SQL, and also you can use Python more or less.
Okay, interesting.
I didn't try it with Python, but I believe that there is a tutorial there that I have pending to do. Like you will be able to put like Python code and paste the Python code to do the calculations. If you want to do it with SQL, you cannot do it on public. You will need the Tableau desktop that I have because I'm working for Roche, but I'm trying to avoid everything that is not in public.
Nice.
So you will be able to say that, okay, I only want to select this year and to have the current year sales. That you can select that. One moment. Because I'm having some issues. Current year. Yeah, that's it. So it to do the previous year will be the same, but selecting year, you want to have the previous one. So you need to select that previous year will be the same calculation, but for 1 year less. So once you have both calculations, sorry, this is another graphic. Once you have all calculations, you can change it to say, okay, I want the sales that this year, and also I want to sales that the last year. So you already have both of them. I want to that on the same graphic. So we have it there. This year it's on black, the other one is on gray. You can change the colors using anything. You can also add custom colors, because if not, you will have on a dashboard different things. And another relevant, when you want to say, okay, I have a comparison between 1 year and another, you also want to have the difference. To do so, you will need another calculation. To have the calculation of a different percentage, you will need to add total of this year minus total of last year, so divided, whatever. So to do so, you need a new calculation that is different, that is these operations. So you do the operation as well, and you will have the different cells. So this is something that, for example, you want to have on the title. But for doing so, you add the calculation, you have the title here, and you will be able to insert any parameter, like I was telling the different cells. So you can apply it and see that you have the different cells. As you can see, you have a range from the difference between this year and the other one, mean the smaller one and the higher one. As we want to fix it, you need to use semicolons, and that will fix that, and only pick one parameter that will be the. I don't know what's not working now, but whatever. Why not? I was inside the sum. Okay. So this is more or less how to do that kind of graphics. The other things are more playing around with the formatting. For example, the formatting, I believe that it's something important in case of do you want some visualizations, but I will not be covering that. I just want to make a quick thing about why it's not just drag and dropping and you need to make some calculations. But to do a comparison between 1 year and another, you will need to do like that. Select some year, create some differences, and you will be able to do everything. If you want, for example, a subcategory comparison, you will have the information again from the previous year and the last year. And what you need to say is different. Okay, for each row, I will have the products. For the categories, I want to see it there. And let me say, forget. Let's remove this one to do it easier. So I have the sales from 1 year and the sales from another year. Now, let's create a new one. So let's say we have the subcategory of the products. I have all the information. I want to see the profit of this year, so the profit of the current year on bars, and the profit of the previous year again. So I will see if something has changed from one year and another. Again, this profit current year and previous year are calculations are made the same of the other ones. I will pick the order date, select 1 year, and then the profit. So you all will need to do some calculations, and we will see, okay, I have the profit from 1 year and the profit from the previous year. So how I can change something in order to visualize it better. So I will go to current year. I will select a color for the current year, for example, a blue. And from the previous year, I want to put it again, doing a size a little bit less, so it's letting me use both, and a color, for example, a gray, because I don't want to make it more visible. And then you will need, okay, let's create some visualizations so both of the graphics are using the same trends. And to do so, you need to create a dual axis. Sorry, let's fix first to bar. And then let's create the dual axis. And we have it here. As you can see, the colors have changed, but we can go again and change it. I don't know what happened to the colors right now, but whatever. I like it more this way. So on the profit, I don't like it that to has some red. So let's apply it, and you can see more or less the difference between 1 year and the other. But some formatting has to be done. For example, we remove some graphics, we remove the title as well, because I don't want to see it. The title can be edit or hide it, and you will see, okay, I have only the categories and then the profits, and we can compare visually if this is from this year, from the previous one. Again, what I'm always trying to do is to see how I can visualize things so I can review it from different periods of time. It's not that useful, but yeah, that's something that you can do it. Then to create a dashboard, let me go to this one. So what I here have done is more calculations, because, for example, this red dot, I will have like, okay, I want to know if we are losing money or not on a category. So because I have the information of the cost and I have the information from the profits, I can reduce both of them and see how much is doing, because I can see that bookcase, for example, it's selling less and also is losing money, but the accessories, it's selling less, but it's not losing money, depending this year. That depends on the cost of the product, not just the benefits. So to do so, I just created a new calculation, added on the KPI here. And the KPI, yeah, it's another calculation. So I want to see if the sum of the sales it's less than the sum of this year, then I will put that circle. If not, I will put anything, and we do that. And then on formatting, I will say that I want the circle to be painted as red or as green. If I want to focus on just the best products that we have currently, I will be able to do it as well, but just changing the colors and changing the things of the calculation, or do it another calculation, adding both of them, and then having more flags like, okay, this is going well, this is going bad, and automatically the flags will be changing with the time. To do something related with the trends, is because I was filtering just for a product. If I'm doing trends, as this is the same, I wanted a date on the columns, and then the rows to calculate the sales, the profits, and the paths I wanted to use like steps, because it's not like a line on the products are changing every day. This is more trends like, okay, I have sales or not sales. So to me, it's easier to see it as this kind of steps, because if you have a machine that it's working or not working and you have a failure, maybe the current line of production is better because you will see the drops clearly. But for me, for sales, I prefer to do steps. This is just, you can change it and do it as you prefer. And the trends are much more common to do it, more easy. You remember to have the dates, to have some numbers. And again, you need to use the calculations between, if you don't use the calculation from one year or another one, you will need to filter, but adding the order week, for example, on filters, and you can say, okay, I want some years, and I will be showing information only for 3 years. And instead of using all the sales, you can use this kind of cells. So it's different, and you will see that this may be the same. If you filter correctly only to show 2021, I can see the information there, but I cannot compare it now with another date because this won't be working. So this is what we need to have in mind. Why not do use the full range? Because you will be adding all the sums and then removing all of them, filtering by year. But we cannot say that this is for the year 2021. We won't know. We will have like a addition of all the years. So the best way to do it is to have it like, let's have the sales from the last year, for example, or the profits from last year, or things like that. And then once you have all the different dashboards or views that we have, we will go to the dashboard and then to show it like that. To do it, you have 2 ways to do it. You can create containers and then use each container to add some graphs. For example, you will have like, okay, I have the layout, it's blank. So I will need, okay, I want a container that it's horizontal because I want to have both graphics like that. Then I will have another vertical inside, and you start doing like this. It's the best way to do it because will be always automatically. You can change one graph to another one if you are doing tests, and everything works. Because if, for example, I have the weekly trends, I can create weekly trends too, adding more information on the tooltip, for example, and just drag and drop the new one, and all the dashboard will be the same. Or if you don't want to think a little bit, that is what I did here, is to put the information as floating, and then you can just drag and drop and create it like that. And to do so, it's again just I will have the comparison. I will drag and drop here. I can have it like here. This is using containers, but if I don't want to use it, so I will use it like floating and put it whatever you want. And this is a legend. I am removing those because I'm not using it right now, but you can. And then you will have like, okay, I have the source comparison, the subcategory. I'm sorry because I am on a rush because I know that we have only half an hour, and I was just trying to show super, for me, the most important part on Tableau, that it's the calculations things. It's not just selecting different attributes and drag and dropping things and playing around. It's more about formatting and calculations. But for me, the most difficult part on Tableau are the calculations because it depends on your data. And if you don't have the data right and you don't know what calculations to do, you will not be able to do comparisons to say, okay, this is for this year, this is for the last year, and things like that. And having clear that it's not just, okay, I have imported an Excel file. Once I have imported the Excel file and can drag and drop things and everything will work, yeah, it's not like that. Once you have some information, you will need to do always calculations, or you will need to create the calculations before going to Tableau. In my case, as I can work with SQL, I use SQL for a lot of calculations because for me it's easier to do switch case there because I can test it and it's faster to do it than create it on Tableau because Tableau won't help you if you have an issue on something, but SQL, yes. And in the end, you have the graphic, you can filter there, select the years, everything works. I also created some tooltips so you can see the sale from this year, the previous one, if you have some difference or not, highest and lowest if you are on that point. And things relevant. In my opinion, the best thing to do is to go to Tableau Public, try to download it, try to play around, and go to some people that has good tableaus done. For example, this one is easier, but has a lot of calculations, and you can download it. Let me do it. So open. I won't be able to play with the data, but I will be able to see how he managed to do that. So as you can see, he did more or less the same as me. On columns, the date, the rows are the CY. That is a calculation made for, again, I will select the year. If the year is the max year, well, his calculation is different than mine. Then he will make an operation to select the rain, how much water has fallen on a period of time. He has reference lines, so you can do those doing trend lines, show trend lines, or forecast, adding information there. I recommend you to go to the reference or to YouTube to see how has been done those. And something important that I didn't cover is the tooltips. It's the information that it's shown once you click on something or just go there. You can write whatever and insert whatever attribute that you want or whatever calculation that you have. So that's relevant as well. And in this case, he has done that for responsive. So will be instantly, but you can do it on hover. I prefer to do it like that. So you will be hovering and clicking. So it's not just popping information when you are navigating with the mouse. This is more like, okay, I want to see this month particularly, and you will have the information there. But yeah, if you have any doubt, anything to cover or something to try, please go ahead and let me know if you want some help to try to do a different visualization or how to add some data and things like that. Because if not, on a new data source, you will be able to connect different connectors. For public, I recommend you to use text file, Excel, or JSON file. I believe that those are the ones that work better for me. But if you have the desktop version, please go ahead and use SQL Server or Snowflake or Amazon directly. That use the connector that you prefer. But to play around and to see if you like the application, just use the data source for the Superstore and play around.
I don't know if anyone has questions. I have one at least. So how do you share the, I don't know if you mentioned, but how do you share these visualizations with stakeholders, like people that don't have to develop the dashboards, only look at the results? How you share these results with them? Okay,
let me share my screen again. So on the server version, you can publish the workbook, and what this will create is a new view and URL. Yeah, and you can select which users do you want to share the visualization in case that this visualization won't be public. So you will be able to, okay, let's say a description, a tag. If you want to refresh the data source of not, I can do that because I'm on desktop. On public, you won't be able to do it. And then the permissions, if you are from a particular group of users or just for a manager or just for one person because you are testing it, you can do it like that. And then publish the workbook and share, for example, only the dashboard or only a sheet or things like that. If you are doing it on the public version, you will be able to publish as Tableau public and then save Tableau public, and then you can share an URL and a visualization on the website from Tableau. And also, I believe that you can publish it to GitHub. So if you have a GitHub with a different project for machine learning purposes, for example, you have a data set with the results of the algorithm, and you can pick Tableau, connect to that data set. The Python script will be updating daily, your dashboard as well, and then your end user can only be looking at the dashboard and see how it's working, on if everything is going well or not. So that's something that you can play around.
Okay.
But yeah, you can also integrate Tableau on websites. Again, it's just publishing and adding it. For example, on Roche, we have that kind of application, and I can select for a project, for a users, and put the views there. So they always will be going to a service to use all the dashboards.
Hello, Mark. RJ here. Just have a few questions regarding the usage of Tableau. I've been assigned to a project where I've mainly utilized Power BI. It's either a competitor of Tableau, yeah, if you're aware about that. For in your case, is it the client's decision to use Tableau over Power BI, or is it yours?
In my case, it's the client, and it's also a cost decision because Power BI is included on Microsoft, so it's free to use more or less. Tableau is much more expensive, so there is a great difference between them. But for a user that has never tried any of those, I believe that Tableau is easier to pick and easier to go to speed than Power BI. But on the end, with, for example, 2 months of training, I don't see any difference between both of them.
I think that's a question that I had also to compare what you recommend to anyone that is joining, and also because I didn't know about you, RG, but I know that Andres and also Aitor, and I don't know I don't know if someone else they are using Power BI quite much. And what's the difference? What's the pros and cons? Because many people are also always debating in what to learn first or which one of those to use. So if you can explain better the comparison between them two, at least from your point of view.
Yeah, from my point of view, as I have more experience on Tableau, for me it's easier and faster to pick up new things there, because on Power BI I know that they are using DAX, for example, and there is a new thing to learn there that Tableau don't has. So that's a difference on how to start working on both of them. Also, the UI for both of the applications are quite similar. And if you want to do a dashboard on any of them or just create the same dashboard, you will be able to do it. So it's more like what I have available or what the client prefers, and go with it. For a learning purposes, whatever you learn on one application, you can go to the other one. Because it's not that the difficulty is on the technical point of view, because I'm just drag and dropping things and selecting a formatting a color or removing some grids. And it's more just wasting time until you have something beautiful that will be useful, and not that how to make some hard decisions or a backend or things like that. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Me again. When it comes to running BI projects like this one in Tableau, do you actually have a separate business analysts to understand the client's requirements, or do you do it yourself? And then follow-up question, do you also have the value of having quality assurance, as a companion in checking all the data before you actually present it to the final stakeholder?
In my case, I have a business analyst that works with me to understand some projects, because some of them are easier to understand and I don't need any help. But there are other ones that are more hard to understand. So I have a business analyst with me that helps me to understand what I'm querying, because if not, I can query things wrong that I already did in the past, and then my conclusions were not useful. So I do have some help there, but I don't have any co-assurance.
I think that Andres also had something to say before, isn't it, Andres? Or
yes. Hello, everyone. So first of all, Mark, really good explanation about the tool. Now, one thing that I just want to add to this regarding Tableau Power BI. Even if I don't know if you see or if Gartner report is putting Power BI as like a first tool in the market today as use. At the end, we need to understand that this is a tool that will allow us to do different analysis or obtain data or to create the data product and a stakeholder. The most important part, even when you are, I don't know, learning about one tool or different, is to understand and to learn also about the modeling of data, how we need to structure the data, because that will be the basis that we will use to create these visualizations or, I don't know, analysis that we need to do. And that basis will give you the, I don't know, the right knowledge that you will need to use in these tools or in the new ones that for sure will appear in this world of data day by day. Just I think that also Power BI and Tableau in that pages you will be able to download data sets that are just dummy data or data set that has so much I don't know, calculations or time dedicated, where you can learn about how the people or the analyst structure the data in a correct way that will be useful to create information. Only that.
Nice, thank you, totally. Anyone else has any question, something?
To add some more background, I will say that the data engineering part is super important. And of course, we need to help them to tell what we need in order to do our analysis on our visualization. So it's a super close collaboration. So in my case, super close. I have like a team of dedicated data engineers that will produce a data mesh for me to use it. So if we don't collaborate, that doesn't make any sense. But as you said, in the end, that what we will need to, as a skill, the more important skill one is the data storytelling or the data visualization on how to do it. I recommend this book. It's data storytelling. It's super good to see why some visualization can be useful or not, and which one I will try to do it first. So if I do always the same kind of visualizations, in the end, my user will be able to understand better what I'm doing, and also don't try to do something so complex. Usually with the lines and bars, it's more than enough that they cover 99% of all your work. Don't spend 2 weeks of work trying to do something super fancy, because then the database change or the requirements change and all the work is lost. So not that useful.
Yeah, okay. So, well, we are going to lunch, and maybe you from Philippines ready to dinner soon. So thank you very much, Marc. Really interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll upload this video probably in YouTube. So yeah, there are some colleagues that couldn't attend. So okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very
Have a
much.
nice day all.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.